Streaming is on.
Most excellent. Ahoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Pirate National Committee Sunday meeting. I am your host, Jolly Mitch, of the Chicagoland Nye, the Illinois Pirate Party, captain of the Illinois Pirate Party, captain of the United States Pirate Party, and as always, a friend of the show. Folks, we're going to try to knock this one out as quick as we can tonight, but we still got plenty of business to knock out. We are going to go with IDs, and per the request of our scribe, I will go into this in the order of PNC membership alphabetically. So will our reps from Arizona please ID themselves?
Blaze Henry, captain of the Arizona Pirate Party and vice captain of the United States Pirate Party.
Thank you to our Arizona reps. Then next state up would be Florida, our Florida reps.
Wanda Ward, Florida Pirate Party and US Pirate Party Swarm Care Manager.
And I'm David Hall. I'm the co-chair of the Florida Pirate Party.
Most excellent. Thank you to our Florida Pirates. Illinois holds no representation at tonight's meeting, so we can skip to Indiana.
Eric, Indiana representative.
Thank you, Eric. Alphabetically speaking, next up would be Massachusetts.
Eli McGee, Massachusetts representative and treasurer to the U.S. Party.
Thank you, Eli. Also, my alphabet is a little bit off because it would have been Maryland, but hey, thank you for IDing as I asked for it. Maryland, you go ahead.
Joel Lightfoot, Maryland captain and U.S. Pirate Party auditor.
Thank you. Sorry, I got my R's and my S's flipped apparently. So that is Massachusetts, that is Maryland. We can move on to Pennsylvania.
No, we can't.
No, we can't. Fuck. I'm sorry, I'm doing consonants, not vowels. Hey, Ohio, can you please give me your ID?
Sure. Mars Vale, Ohio Pirate Party, and National Webmaster. One day you'll learn the alphabet.
One of these days, but it will not be today. Now then, Pennsylvania.
Now we can do Pennsylvania. Drew Bingham in Pennsylvania.
Thank you. It's the vowels. The vowels always mess me up. Texas is not here today. I'm all messed up. I hate doing this. Am I missing anyone else? There's no Texas, and there is don't drink an alphabet. You know, Joel, I've got so much going on. I'm just clearly you get so much things going on in your life, you forget how to do the alphabet.
That Willie Nelson drink is pretty potent.
I've not tried it yet, but that's good to know. I could actually use a Willie Nelson drink right about now. But based on what I'm observing, that is all our PNC member states in attendance tonight, and thus I will just simply ask our guest to ID himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob Anders. I am the independent candidate for the United States House, Congress, Tennessee, District 4. I've had a few interviews with the Pirate Party. If you haven't seen the interviews, basically I stand with you all on civil liberties. I go a little further with expanding the government when it comes to healthcare, basic income, but also cutting back on defense and offense spending and planes that can't fly. And I think there was a boat that couldn't float. So a lot of ways to cut there.
Right on. Thank you, Jacob. And we will, tonight, Jacob is here looking for the Pirate Party's endorsement. Last week, we endorsed Michael Veloff, Drunk Uncle, Doc Agnew, as we all affectionately know him as. And tonight, we're trying to make it 2 in a week. But before we get into that, I do have to go around and ask, are there any reports from state parties, candidates, or committees? Arizona, you have the floor.
Okay, I'll be as quick as I can. We had our in-person meeting last Wednesday. It went pretty well. Mikia and Ux was there, including me, which was not a lot of people, but we got what we needed done on the agenda. We approved our bylaws to change the official position Native Chief to Director of Indigenous Outreach. And on this coming Wednesday, we're going to have a special election for one of our pirates, Devon, to be the new director of Director of Indigenous Outreach. So that's awesome. We also talked about cash bail reform on our plank. We got talked a little bit about that, but it's not ready for any sort of addition to our platform, so it's still in the oven on that. We also talked about the VPS and IT committee expectations this week. Makia can explain what happened on the previous IT committee meeting, which was yesterday, after I go through my spiel. We also briefly talked about game night again. Well, we're going to have a soft launch of sorts and have our first live stream on Twitch. And it will just be me playing Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, just to make sure everything works right and to get some practice in. So that's an expectation. I am waiting on Twitch to give the approval for us to start live streaming. So when we get that approval, we'll start our first live stream as soon as possible. Then I talked about how that we need to have something in Phoenix by the end of the year, because something, an event to be at, tabling, general outreach, et cetera, to recruit and communicate with other people on joining us and increasing our membership in Phoenix. Because as of right now, over 90% of our current membership is in Tucson. And when we try to get on the ballot for 2028, that's going to come as a liability. So we need to expand into Phoenix and grow our membership there as quickly as we can. And so I put a mandate that we need to have something done in Phoenix by the end of the year. And our next in-person meeting will be August 19th from 3 to 4.
Right on. Thank you, Blaze, and very forward thinking.
Hold on. Makia, do you want to go over IT committee meeting yesterday? Just real quick.
No, it's all, you are all good. Thank you. And to that point, and it's, any update is welcomed. To your point, Wanda, the internal committees of state parties isn't necessarily a expectation to be reported on. However, if you have something to report, by all means, it's never a. I don't think there's ever a reason to not hear what if there is something to report. So thank you to the both of you for coming forward with news and updates from Arizona, especially Blaze. I think it's smart to think about Phoenix and to think about how as you grow that you're going to want to expand your base out there. That's very forward thinking, and I'm very happy to hear you say that. So I wish you all the best, and I wish Arizona just everything as we move forward. We're gonna rock and roll. Now, Wanda, was your hand in regards to your comment, and if so, is Joel? Joel will be next, if so.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we do like to keep things moving in here, and it just kind of grinds things to a snail's pace when we get granular detail like that.
Oh, you know what? The point heard, absolutely. And again, I will say to the Arizona delegation that your updates are always welcomed and always appreciated. What if you guys feel the need to report on certain things in certain committees if it feels relevant to update, by all means. But Wanda does, I will acknowledge Wanda's point and say that, if you feel like, things are being slowed down or whatever, not everything does need to be reported. But I do appreciate your guys' thoroughness in reporting everything that you have up to this point. So to that I say thank you. And then Joel, go ahead.
All right, as a state with just barely double-digit membership, I'd like to hear how things are going in states that have a little more members. But we have crossed the threshold to double-digit membership. We are slowly but surely adding.
Joel, I think we lost you. We heard you say slowly but surely adding members, and then you cut out right at that point.
So that we can do the Urban Pirates cruise in the inner harbor, so that we can be, pirates representing and looking like pirates. And we're gonna try to get some trifolds together, hand a few things out, eat some food, and then report on any progress that we might make. So I think being able to enjoy and have fun is important, because we really got to form a group before we can start forming policy. So thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joel. Wonderful updates. And then Maggie, I did see you pop in. If you want to ID, you do have the opportunity to do that now. If you don't wish to ID, if you don't wish to participate, I can just move on to the next.
Hi, I'm Maggie Carswell. I'm the social media director for the Arizona Pirate Party. So sorry that I am late. I was having personal issues.
You are all good, and by all means, you're not late. It's never late. Anyone who shows up, if we make quorum, if you sprinkle in at that point, it's by all means, more the merrier. And again, shout out to Arizona. Florida's always been repping the 2 reps, but Arizona's bringing 2 or 3 every meeting. So you guys are like fist fighting each other for representation out here. It's kind of neat.
Arizona, whoop, whoop.
It's like East versus West, except instead of rap, it's pirate parties. Are there any other updates from states, committees, or candidates? I'm hearing nothing. I will. Yeah, you know what? I will say the Arizona Pirates are an incredibly healthy party. Not to make any comparisons, but I will say that with the Massachusetts Pirates have always been like the strong pirate party, and I don't think that's any secret. That's a credit to the hard work that Massachusetts put in to build up their pirate party over the years. But Arizona out west is really, you guys are building something large, efficient, and quick. So you guys deserve all the credit in the world. Blaze especially. You've been leading that charge. So I just want to say that you guys are all rock stars, every single one of you, because Blaze couldn't do it alone. None of you can do it alone. So thank you for bringing the pirate party out in Arizona and making it a real movement and a real cause to get behind. So I appreciate you all. I'll just say that I was out in Milwaukee earlier today at a Pete Karras's event. I believe Dr. Jill Stein was supposed to be there, and if she was there, I missed her. I gave a speech. I was one of a few people that gave a speech, and then I had to bounce because I had to be here, which is fine. This is my commitment, and I love you guys, so that's never a problem. But I gave him a speech, and the Greens seemed really supportive and really receptive to what I gave. There was a live stream of it, so if I will find that and I will post that to our Discord, and you guys can see what I said. But it was a lot of rah rah and minor party unity. I know there's a whole bit where I said stop saying third party, because it was a break the duopoly rally, and I was explaining how saying third party is conceding that there are 2 parties and we're a third option. We're not a third option. We are an option. We are just as much political party as the corporate parties. And there are just as valid candidates on the independents as there are in the Democrat and Republican primaries. In fact, we have a valid independent candidate with us today. We have Jacob Anders, who are seeking our nomination. Jacob, you have been on 2 episodes of Talk the Plank, so you've been able to give your speech, give your spiel, and let the people get to know you. Obviously, you have given the chance for those of you who have been in the know. These episodes are available on YouTube. You can go back and you can see them. And it does give Jacob the opportunity to pitch himself without, feeling compressed or only being able to give an elevator pitch. So if you guys have seen him, you know the deal. If you don't know, go back and watch him. But otherwise, he's in front of us today. And I'm sure he's receptive to any questions you guys might have. But by all means, I want to open the floor. Currently, there's no motion on the table, obviously, but Jacob is currently asking for the endorsement. So if you guys want to question, inquire, whatever, and at the end of it, if someone wants to motion to endorse, we can move ahead with that. But in the meantime, I just want to let this essentially be an open candidate forum. If you guys have any questions for Jacob, or Jacob, if you want to say anything leading into this, by all means. But the floor will be open for Jacob.
One thing I was going to mention was I emailed you about getting more candidates involved with Talk the Plank and the Pirate Party. I got the email and good responses from I think his name is David Seaman, and he's been endorsed by the Tennessee Green Party in a run for governor. And he's interested in speaking to minor parties, so I intend to send him your way next. But we got some hands, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, by all means, Maki, you have the floor.
Basically, the rich are able to make offshore accounts, and they call them offshore because you're off the shores of the United States and usually in the Bahamas or somewhere else where the laws are more lax, where they can hide their money. Currently, the IRS has hundreds and hundreds, thousands of employees that are enforcing the federal income tax on a bunch of normal people, and normal people make up millions and millions of people that pay their taxes. So under my tax plan that abolishes the income tax on your first 300K, you're getting rid of like over 90% of the people that pay taxes. So these IRS agents that we have will be able to use the research tools, information gathering tools to find out where these people are keeping their money, how to make sure it's reported. I don't have the exact details on that technology or data, how you do that, but I am definitely open to whatever the IRS and people with knowledge of how to close these loopholes and get these offshore accounts. I'm all for it.
Go ahead.
Um, so are you aware of how tax brackets work? Like, so basically your first 300K, there'd be no income tax on it. Everything above that would be 50% under this tax plan. Now that could go lower if we get the defense budget cut, we get everything, our spending lower, we could lower our taxes as well. But if you're making, over 300K, you don't have a lot to worry about. And the historical precedent for that is that we used to tax extremely high incomes at 90%, and I think in the 40s. So I think this is so like like you're saying, it could, if somebody's already making millions and millions of dollars and they're like, man, I don't feel like making another million. Well, perhaps they won't. Perhaps they'll take some vacation. I don't know what exactly a super wealthy elite person's going to do in every situation. I've heard the argument that the rich can just leave. We've raised taxes before, and they didn't leave, and they often come back. Life in the United States is a very unique experience, leaving behind your friends, families, everyone you know. Mitch?
Well, just on that note, it's something that whenever I hear this concept of the rich would just leave, how can we never call it for what it is? Like using their language, how can we never call them unpatriotic, that they care about their money more than they care about their country? How can we never use that line of reasoning with these people? Because the conservative mind, the patriotic, the red blooded American, usually will side with the rich keeping their money, because a lot of them, and again, this is not a slam against the common man, but there are many folks who have the mentality of, well, I'm an embarrassed millionaire, I'm an embarrassed future millionaire, where I will one day have the money, I will one day get to the point. Sorry, the FBI got me. One day, that's actually my family, so I'm gonna have to speed this up in a sec. But uh, point is we should start calling them for what they are, and that is un-American. Makia, you can take the floor again.
Oh, of course. If we're about to have a giant AI revolution in the workforce, which is going to displace a bunch of people. But yeah, if inflation ever got to that point, of course, you need to readjust your tax plan.
Thank you. I'm gonna move ahead, and Mars, you have the floor.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna kind of add on to Makia's questions, considering I do know quite a bit when it comes to taxes. I did it as a job, but what exactly? I mean, when it comes to finding accounts, that is usually, I mean, there's a whole field for that, forensic accounting, and that would be very, very possible. But what exactly is your plan for the fact that most of these, despite already being illegal, are usually penalized on a fine-based basis? People with that kind of money are just gonna take it as a fee. I mean, they're gonna pay it, move on, and get a little slap on the wrist and nothing more. Any thoughts on that?
Can I add on to that and say, will you jail corrupt businessmen?
Yeah,
I'm half joking when I say that. No, I'm not.
No,
if
but
somebody,
seriously, sorry.
if somebody is like really, really, truly undermining and refusing to pay any tax whatsoever when they're making a ton of money, I'm pretty sure that's like tax evasion. You go to jail for that.
Yeah, it is tax evasion.
That is how they got Capone.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said earlier, if we can focus the IRS on finding these accounts, and like you said, forensic accounting, get people dedicated to it, finding it, and we're a global power. We have global influence. These countries that act like tax havens, we can kind of put a finger on the scale and say, hey, we know all of our billionaires are like hiding our money over here, so it's time to play ball.
Yeah, because essentially they'll be like, hey, you brought in this much income, but where is it? Yes, you say only this much is in your account, but we have the business records from the other end, because there's always two ends. There's the giving and the receiving end. I mean, I don't know. It's probably a payoff thing, but I'm kind of rambling. Was just kind of curious what your take was going to be on that.
Thank you, Mars. Are there any other questions, inquiries, comments, concerns, gripes, angry letters to send, YouTube comments to leave? Anything?
Sure, I got one.
Right on, Joel. And then Maggie right after. Go ahead.
I'm looking at justice and reform. You know, you want to fight to reform our broken system so government serves the people, not the powerful. In terms of criminal justice, I've got some banger ideas, but I always want to hear, from a candidate, what direction do you think we should go?
Well, depends on in terms of what. It's pretty a broad topic, but one that comes to mind today I was talking about was the restoration of voting rights to felons who have completed their debt to society. I've never understood why we had this idea that, okay, if these people had felonies, then they're gonna group up together and elect a felon. I mean, that's we've already had a felon president now, so I don't see the harm in giving a vote back to people like that. But yeah, ending the drug war would be another big criminal justice thing for me. What are your specifics?
So that was one of the ones that, I saw it in there and I just wanted to see. So when you say, in the drug war, taxing marijuana, I'll just tell you here in Maryland, marijuana dispensaries are paying taxes like crazy, and they're happy to do it because they're making money hand over fist. Do you think we can do that with other drugs?
With psychedelics, I understand that when used under medical supervision, professional supervision, that can be used to cure depression, anxiety. It could make you stop smoking cigarettes. There's amazing potential with these drugs when used in a medical setting. And then you move to the hard stuff, which is heroin and methamphetamine. And we don't want people on that. But you also just don't want it sold on the street corner. And it's like, okay, so where's the healthy medium? And I understand that kratom, when it's doesn't have all these other substances put into it, it's a substitute for heroin for these people. And I also see heroin and meth use as a mental health crisis, because one of my arguments for marijuana and even psychedelics is nobody is stealing televisions or breaking into cars to fund their marijuana or psychedelic habit. That's a heroin and meth thing, and that's obviously a mental illness and needs medical treatment, counseling, not prison and jail. That's just, it hasn't worked. But I'm pretty sure most civil liberty reforms that you would propose, I'm probably in favor of, as long as it's nothing crazy like, okay, I guess we can all just sail our ships into any body of water because we're pirates. I mean, nothing silly, but.
Right on. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for the question, Joel. Maggie, go ahead, and then I will politely ask if anyone does have any pressing questions, get your hands up now. Otherwise, I will ask someone call the question or put forward the motion after Maggie's question. Maggie, I do want you to go. I still would like you to ask your question, but after Maggie, I would like someone to put forward the motion.
All right, so my question is what's your logic behind the 50% tax on 300K and up? Because like we're targeting billionaires. Those are the people we want to go after. We want to tax them. 300K isn't like it's a comfortable salary, but it's not like a huge salary. I know people who make that much in my family. And docking it down to like it would be 150K a year. Like that's still enough to get by on, but that's not like super comfortable. Like what's the point in that?
It's everything above the 300K. So your first 300K, no tax. Everything after that would be taxed. And perhaps you're right. Perhaps 50% might be too high. Perhaps 300K as a baseline is too low. Perhaps it should be 400K. These are arguments that I'm willing to have, tweaks I'm willing to make. I'm not married to any number. I just started running the numbers to see what would be necessary to run a balanced budget and cut the income tax off of 90% of people. But like you said, in some areas, I see y'all typing. So basically, the income tax has brackets, and so right now there's all these brackets for your first 25K, your next 50K, your next 36K. It's ridiculous. I would be moving everyone to where if you make 500K, then your first 300K has no taxes, and then you're making 200K after that. 50% of that would be taxed to the government. Now, if you
Okay,
want that,
I see what you mean.
yeah, see, that's why a lot of people want the flat tax, and then some people will be like, "No, I don't want a raise. That'll put me in a different bracket, and you all get taxed higher." It's like only that specific portion of your money gets taxed at that rate, and that's why it's so darn confusing. And we have so many people that are tax preparers.
All right, and I know it's not like my campaign or anything, but just some constructive criticism, I guess, is I feel like it should work on like a sliding scale because I feel like 50% is fairly high. So like once you like maybe 300K, it's a little bit lower, and then once you start getting to like millions and stuff, it's a lot higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be creating more brackets like we have now. But like I said, if we redo the math and make it start at your first 400K, and if we get the defense budget down and we don't have as many expenses, we could keep bringing our taxes down. But like I said earlier, the precedent lies in that they used to tax the highest income at 90% when they first introduced the income tax, I think around World War II. But I don't want to do 90%. That's a little crazy. But
Yeah, okay. I see what you mean now. That was just my biggest pressing issue is I thought you meant like if you make 300K, now you're just making 150K. So like wouldn't you just stay in the 200K bracket? But okay, yeah, that clears up a lot of stuff for me. All right, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Jacob. And thank you, Joel, who said we can save a lot by reducing congressional salaries to the U.S. median income. Yes, that's my most PG response that I can say because that's not what I wanted to say. Otherwise, you know what, Mars? I think I'll allow. I mean, that's a good question. So, Jacob, the question that being asked is, how would federal aid programs be funded if we cleared the bracket system? If you could take that question, then after that, please, someone, love of God, birthday's waiting for me.
all right, Captain's got to go. But those tax brackets are not tied to federal aid brackets. Like you could say everyone under 50K needs I don't know this amount of health care, this amount of dental care, and then you can still set your brackets without the tax brackets. They're independent of that. That's what I was looking for.
Well, I think the nature of the question was how will we fund these programs, not how will we distribute the resources.
We would fund it with taxing the rich, the corporate income tax. I don't plan to. As far as I'm confused on the question, like, is this about consolidating the welfare programs, or is this just in regards to brackets for if you're in this bracket, you qualify for this welfare? Or
I'm saying if we're cutting out the amount of federal income tax taken in as a whole, because I mean, you would absolutely be getting a lot less brought in at this point. You're taxing way less people. Yes, you would be taxing the rich more, but you would be getting way less income on a whole. So, how would you fund programs such as food stamps, Medicare, Medicaid? The funding for that would essentially dissipate if you got rid of federal income tax.
it has to be paired with cutting the defense budget, unless you're just wanting to go further and further into debt. But I also call for raising the corporate income tax back to where it was before Trump cut it. I don't intend to cut aid spending on the American people.
Would it just be the income tax or the including the Medicare and Social Security tax as well?
Just the federal income tax. Social Security and Medicare are completely different bills. And I'm not sure what percentage of your income they take, but it's minuscule in comparison.
6.2 and 1.45.
So you know it. Yeah, those would remain. Those would remain.
Okay.
I'd also want to close the. There's a cap on Social Security where over a certain income you're no longer taxed, and they've been talking about that a lot. And it's like, yeah, let's change it. You're rich, you can handle it. Anyway, Mitch.
Thank you. Well, folks, I cannot call a question. If someone, Joel, go ahead.
I'd like to motion that we go ahead and approve this guy.
So that is a motion to endorse.
That's what I was going to say.
It's okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joel. So that's a motion to endorse. Do I have a second on the board? A second from the people?
Indiana will second.
Thank you, Indiana. I will call the votes. Makia, go ahead. Can you please limit it to just the one then, please? Thank you.
I would like to. I don't know the specifics. I'm not educated on what all they process, but I don't know if they're saying the information they're dragging and taking in, perhaps. Yeah, I definitely once we have people that understand the technology and write out the legislation, I would support it. I understand that AI has been used to create disturbing images, and I think we all know what I'm talking about, and nobody wants that. So,
Perfect.
But yeah, feel free to email me any questions you got. I think my wife's going to sleep early. Kids are already asleep. I got time.
And I do have your website in the link to the description of this video. So anyone that wishes to send you an email, I know that you have your email in your website. Also visit his website. Also, there's a motion on the board to endorse in a second. I will call down the line in alphabetical order. Arizona.
Mitch, Arizona's not ready. Please pass on us and come back to us later.
We will jump ahead then to Florida.
Nay.
Okay. Massachusetts.
Aye.
Thank you. Maryland.
Aye.
Thank you. Ohio.
Sorry, I was having problems with the buttons. Nay.
Okay. Pennsylvania.
Aye.
Thank you. I did not call Indiana. Indiana.
Aye.
Thank you. Does Arizona have a decision?
We do. We vote nay.
Thank you. That is a 4-3 vote, though. So, Jacob, you have earned the endorsement of the United States Pirate Party. So, congratulations to you. I will get that endorsement page up in the next day or two, but it will be included in the in case you missed it. So, Jake, congratulations on the endorsement, and thank you to everyone. Please, I will take a motion to adjourn. Otherwise, I'm just cutting off this meeting. I'm so serious. Joel, go ahead.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any objections? I'm hearing none. Drew, you know I love this party.
I do.
Well, let me tell you anyways. I love this party because we believe the United States should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said. We endorse Jacob Anders, and we believe that if purchasing is an ownership, well, then piracy isn't theft. Folks, this has been the conclusion of the July 26th edition of the Pirate National Committee's live stream meeting.